Hey, this is my review of Ring of Honor's Defy or Deny and Manhattan Mayhem IV. Obviously, I'm going to start with Defy or Deny. This was the night before Manhattan Mayhem. This was in Plymouth, Massachusetts. And yeah, it opened up with Mike Bennett. He came out, ran down Plymouth, said he's glad he's from Boston and not Plymouth, and just totally got himself away from Plymouth, and then he started to run down his opponent for later in the night, the TV champion Chris Daniels, and yeah, he eventually got into Corino, speaking of old men or something. Ripped on a little bit. That brought up the king of old school. Corino told him he's overconfident again. He would be a lot further if he was more like Christopher Daniels. Called Brutal Bob a doofus, which is funny. He said he was going to kick Bennett's ass all over New York City, so that was cool. Yeah, they got in a little confrontation. Brutal Bob got popped in the mouth, so that was pretty funny. And yeah, it kind of set things up a little bit, not only for later in the night, but for the next night in New York City, which I thought this show did a very good job of building up. I'm just glad I had them both so I can watch them both back to back, basically. One yesterday, one this afternoon. That's not bad. Okay, our opener is Kyle O'Reilly versus Mark Briscoe. I would say this was really enjoyable. It's actually a really good match. It was done perfectly. Just thankfully it didn't go overboard. I hate when some openers go overboard. I mean, sometimes you can go like all out if it's, I don't know, Bret Hart and Owen Hart, and there's like a lifetime worth of build, but yeah. So yeah, this was done right. Yeah, O'Reilly just looks great. Mark looks maybe even better. Mark looked really good. Got a nice handshake at the end. Just yeah, it was solid stuff. All right, then we had a tag team match: Steve Corino and Grizzly Redwood versus Kenny King and Red Titus, the All Night Express, of course. This was, I would say it was necessary. It was definitely average. It's just basically it needed to happen to further Corino's rehabilitation, and his road to redemption has to be completed or whatever. So this helped. All right, then we had what I think was the match of the night up to this point: Adam Cole versus Tommaso Ciampa. You gotta say it like that. I thought this was really, I guess exciting would be a good word. I'm using words to describe things more now than ratings, because ratings are controversial. And I mean, I don't mind controversy, but I'm not Eric Bischoff. I'm not trying to fucking confuse everyone. Controversy, confusion, are two different things. Anyway, yeah, I like the Embassy's interaction in this match. I love the in-ring stuff. I love the out-ring stuff. Mia Yim she's really good in there. I actually hope that maybe she throws a kick at Sarah Del Rey and that leads to something match, because that'd be pretty enjoyable on an iPay-per-view, just since they got the women's matches on a lot of the shows. All right, so one of the highlights of the match was Tommaso, I believe, slid to the outside, kind of like a baseball slide, and Cole caught him and hit him with a wheelbarrow German suplex on the ring frame, which is pretty cool. Sick. We got a chain of pinfalls very similar to Steamboat and Savage. Rest in peace, Macho Man. Yeah, I guess I got to touch on that. So, yeah, I think both men are going to be really big stars in ROH. Love Tommaso's big move, and I love Cole's. All right, so I'll get the Macho Man now, I guess. Man, car accident. Randy Savage. Man, like when I started watching wrestling, he I think yeah, he was the it was his first title run when I first started watching wrestling. I can't really remember much about that because I was pretty young, but I believe it was 1990. I think he was heel by that point. I used to have a puzzle with Macho Man. It was like a, I don't know, 500-piece puzzle or something with him doing the elbow. So I was a big Macho Man fan. I hated him at one point, and then I loved him. It was kind of thing where even when I was a kid and I hated the heels, I was like, okay, Savage, Bret Hart, doesn't matter where they are, they're where it's at. They're the best in the business. So I'll miss Savage, and I'll get back to my review because this has to be a little throwing up. Yeah, I don't know. All right. After the match is over, Cole and O'Reilly are they both had their matches, and they're approached by the Bravado Brothers, who tell them, you know, they did good, but not good enough, pretty much, and they're going to show them how to win. And I love the Bravado Brothers. They come off as these nice little grandma's boys, and then they just the most insulting people in the world. They call Christopher Daniels the best wrestler in the world 12 years ago or some shit like that. Like they're good with that stuff. They're really good. I've seen them live. They draw heat. People want them dead, but they're also entertaining. So I like the Bravados, and I hope they stay around. Especially with guys like Cole and O'Reilly, they'll help develop the personality more. All right. But basically, I'm saying I'll stand behind this when I say that ROH is better with character development and storyline development than WWE. Well, they're on WWE's level. TNA is nowhere near any of them. TNA doesn't know how to develop shit. They just like to throw guys that are already established, like Brian Kendrick's. Like, here, give me the X Division savior. Anyway, enough of my mini rant. I need some water. Shane Hagedorn cuts a promo on how, even though he doesn't like Plymouth, it's been a place where the Kings are really successful, and it'll be no different tonight. Puts over Hero and Castagnoli, and our next match is Chris Hero versus TJ Perkins. Now, if you don't know who TJ Perkins is, he was Puma. You might have seen him in TNA or Mexico or Japan. He's a young guy. He started when he was like, I think like 18 or something in Japan, like really young. So he's like the youngest wrestler ever to wrestle at the Tokyo Dome, I think. So yeah, him and Chris Hero. How do I explain him? Oh yeah, best wrestler in the world. Okay, I would say Eddie is close. Eddie's my favorite wrestler, but Chris Hero's pound for pound, physically, athletically, style-wise, he's just the best wrestler in the world. This match was great. It really delivered. It wasn't too long. Perkins took a lot of damage, but so did Hero. This was it was unique. It was really unique, and yeah, it's not something you always see in wrestling today. It's unique shit. So Perkins versus Hero, I would say, is a match of the year candidate. I mean, I don't think it will be match of the year, but it's one you gotta watch because you might think it is. If for anything, for the uniqueness of it. I don't know if that's a word. Anyway, we then got the Bravados came out. They got another great promo. Yeah, they're just heat magnets. They talk about basically like how great they are and how they're going to beat their opponents, that sort of thing. And then out come two local jobbers. Of course, the Bravados bragging about how great a team they are. Face the lesser teams usually, and Cole and O'Reilly face the harder teams to beat. It's really funny. So, alright, Bravado Brothers versus Matt Taven and Guy Alexander. Yeah, I knew a guy named Guy once. I would say this. I'm not going to give this a rating. It was not a squash. It was like a reverse squash. The Bravados were getting kind of squashed, and then they pulled off a fluke win, which, you know, obviously going to get heat, and it fits for them. It doesn't look stupid on them. It does make them look stupid, but it makes them look stupid in a way that they should look stupid. You know what I mean? It's old school. All right. Truth and Elgin cut a promo. It's very short. It's badass. Yeah, I liked it. Which leads to Eddie Edwards versus Michael Elgin. Basically, the idea is Edwards has the title shot tomorrow against the main stablemate of Michael Elgin in the House of Truth, Roderick Strong. So Roderick Strong and Eddie Edwards the next night for the world title. So Elgin's job, obviously, as the enforcer or whatever, is to take out Edwards, or at least sufficiently weaken him so Roderick won't have much of a hard time. So Edwards versus Elgin was fucking excellent. I don't know if match of the year candidate, but yeah, you know, I don't know. These are two of my favorite wrestlers, so I might be a little bit biased there. Yeah, so we knew what Elgin's goal was. Edwards just outsmarted him, outquicked him, did all this stuff. We even got a double Achilles lock on Elgin and Truth, which is really cool. Looked cool. I don't know why I kind of mind it, but if I had a leg, it would work better. Yeah, just Eddie yelling Roderick as he hits his big moves and that stuff. Yeah, just it sets up Eddie versus Roderick well. All right, Eddie post-match cuts a promo telling Roderick he's coming for the gold. You know, that kind of thing. Hunts on. That sort of thing. All right, World TV title match. Christopher Daniels, the Fallen Angel champion, versus Mike, the Prodigy Bennett. I would say this is like watching grass grow, but I don't want to insult growing grass. Yeah, Bennett celebrates after getting, I think it was a go-behind and a wrist lock. He runs around and celebrates like he won the match, which was the best part of the match, really. Daniels works over the nose, you know, grabs it, punches it. I haven't seen someone work over the nose like that since Randy Savage, probably against Flair. Just, I don't know. Fans shat all over this match. But what do you expect? Mike Bennett needs to prove himself. You should just start like kicking people in the face really hard. Post-match, Corino came out to like stop Truth from interfering or something, and then Daniels gets Corino's face. I don't need your help, that kind of shit. All right, then we get our first well, not our first big match tonight, but arguably match of the night. No, probably match of the night. And Claudio Castagnoli versus Davey Richards. And they started out simply enough. This big man versus the quicker, smarter striker, but it evolved into, you know, a great fucking match. You just had a bunch of crazy stuff. They used the size difference, and yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was a good match. All right, our next match, I gotta kind of set it up because I don't want people to just guess how this goes. It's it's a four-way elimination match. If Roderick Strong wins, none of the three challengers can challenge him for the world title as long as he's champion. If one of them wins the match, not if they pin him, if one of them wins the match, they get the next title shot after Eddie Edwards. All right, it's a little complicated, not really. Truth Martini introduces Roderick, grabs him like Strong offers to work with Homicide. Homicide takes the Gringo up on his offer to eliminate Generico and Briscoe first. All right, this is the Defy or Deny four-way elimination. I would call this like a stiff match. Match of the year candidate, you know, depending on what you like. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I don't think it was like Evolve stupid or anything. So, yeah, Homicide just he let his inner heel out. Classic Homicide. He's really good when he's just breaking the rules and telling people to go fuck themselves and guy gouging, punching in the face, whatever. You can be an asshole and it's a good thing. It's strange that it started as a tag match almost with Generico and Briscoe obviously working against Side and Roddy, but you know it was really good. Roderick uses Generico's own brainbuster in this match, which was pretty good heat he got there. Yeah, you know, I think at one point 3 guys were in the ring when it was down to 3, and they were all in the ring at once. And I guess they didn't mention that when there's 3 guys, they're all legal. But some fan yelled, "Who's legal?" And Roderick yells to the guy who I assume's fat, "Everyone, asshole!" It was funny. It's pretty awesome. The match was really hard hitting. Yeah, if somebody lost a tooth, I wouldn't be surprised. Great action-packed match. The finish was a bit murky, but I'll let it slide, as it was a non-title, you know. There was a surprisingly great post-match promo by Strong and Eddie Edwards, and I'm officially hyped for Manhattan Mayhem, and I'll get you to that review. Alright, the last show, Defy tonight, is 8 out of 10. Manhattan Mayhem IV is reviewing that now. This is from New York City, Manhattan Center, not the Hammerstein Ballroom. They will be there on the 27th of June. Pay-per-view. Best in the world. Alright, Truth Martini opens up this show when he escorts Michael Elgin and House of Truth potential stable member Mike Mondo, formerly of the Spirit Squad. He escorts him to the ring. Truth puts over Roderick big time, then he puts over Elgin as the strongest man in Ring of Honor history, which, pound for pound, hell, he might be the heaviest. He is the strongest. He's stronger than Claudio. I think he's stronger than Hernandez. The guy's like squats, like he can do like 575 squats, but he's like huge. I've seen him squat Big Van Walter and Brody Lee without shaking, so I've got my proof. So it was Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly versus Michael Elgin and Mike Mondo. This was just hard stopping, is how I'm going to describe it. Cole and O'Reilly used their speed, tag team specialism, and just their high-paced, explosive offense, just really fast to throw off Elgin and Mondo. Elgin's power is just on fucking real. He catches them. He has, I don't know, Cole or O'Reilly on his shoulders and the other one in his arms. And he performs a Samoan drop and a fall-away slam. And he doesn't, it's not just a sloppy drop. Like, he hits them perfectly with it. Like, perfect position, launches them. Oh, no, he doesn't flinch. Like, it's nothing to him. I'd be like you carrying a small bag of groceries. Elgin's a beast. More people are going to be huge fans of this guy in a short time. So, yeah, perfect opener. You can't book much of a better opener than that. I dare you. Like I said, I mentioned Owen Hart and Bret Hart before. That's about all you can do. Alright, then we have Grizzly Redwood versus Tommaso Ciampa. The Embassy. With the Embassy, of course. I thought this was average, but it was fun. Grizzly uses speed and unorthodox offense early on to throw Ciampa off, and it was really working until Mia got involved, and Rhett put the old Redwood to Mia, gave her some of that beard action, and she responded by a running like shotgun drop kick in heels. It was pretty fucking impressive. I mean, it was a better drop kick than I've ever seen Orton perform, and he never had to do it in high heels, I hope. Yeah, just yeah, Ciampa uses power and brute force and just hard strikes and lariats. He used it to ground the little slumberjack, and it was just, yeah, it was really cool. And then Grizzly used his chops to the quadriceps to chop down the tree, and Ciampa, and just wasn't enough. Ciampa destroyed Grizzly with this huge powerbomb into a double knee to the back, which is a crazy move. Alright, then Corino comes out to save Grizz for a post-match beatdown by Nana because Nana hates him. He has to stop him. So Corino says he's there for Grizzly and wants to know if Grizz will be there for him tonight. And there, Mike Bennett comes in, cuts him off, starts beating on Corino. Or I don't know if he beats on, I can't remember. He basically, cuts a promo. I'm gonna knock you out the wagon. Corino says, "Kevin, I'm sorry," because he's talking to Steen, I guess. Which hint, hint. So Bennett responds by saying, "I'm not fat and unemployed. You'll call me by my name, the Prodigy," or something like that. And then Corino says, I'm really gonna regret this in the morning or something." And then ring the bell, Todd, and he like pops Bennett in the jaw. Just Steve Corino versus Mike Bennett starts there. Yeah, this is at times boring, but Corino controlled the most of it, and carried Bennett. Yeah, I guess a highlight would be Bennett getting sidestepped on the outside dive, which is pretty funny, and the thumb in the bum. Corino hit him with the thumb in the bum, which he has a shirt for that on his website. Yeah, this just, it was alright, I guess. It was necessary because it's going to further build stuff. And, yeah. Bennett hits a post-match pile driver, which he should use more often because it's a good fucking move. Done right. Alright, then we had our first great match tonight. Jay and Mark Briscoe versus the All Night Express. This was just fucking stiff and intense. The Briscoe's newfound aggression, or returning aggression, it's very welcome in my book. Yeah, just exciting and very stiff match. The All Night Express is very good, worked very well together. Post-match brawling and antics, I think I'm gonna like this feud a lot. Good man. All right, then we got El Generico versus T.J. Perkins. This match was short but very dynamic. Started out innocently enough to a handshake, but it ended like somebody wanted the other guy dead. So yeah, just very unique and innovative match. I wouldn't call it a match of the year candidate, but I'd call it necessary. You should watch it. I don't know if it was 10 minutes or what. Alright, then we got a non-title match. Holy shit. Holy shit. That kind of holy shit. Kings of Wrestling versus Homicide and Hernandez, also known as LAX. This was a very strong match of the year candidate. Big time Kings of Wrestling, LAX dual chants for the crowd. Crowd was so hot. Red hot. I want to actually... I've kind of like shat on New York a little bit for being douchebags and ruining some matches, but damn, this crowd showed up and they made some noise. Yeah, one thing I found out about this match, Kevin Kelly says game changer way too much. To me, a game changer is like switching from Monopoly to Sorry or SmackDown vs. Raw to Uncharted. Stop saying game changer. It's a douche word. Term. Alright, yeah, Claudio and Hernandez were scary strong in this. They pulled off some crazy shit. There was a UFO on Hernandez. He did the no hands too. Hernandez just did the border toss to Homicide onto the Kings and Hagedorn. Just crazy stuff. Finish was good. Just crazy match of the year candidate. Just awesome stuff. Afterwards, post-match, backstage with Julius Smokes, he gives Homicide a pep talk, and you can't lose, blah, blah, that kind of stuff. I'm not sure if he's sober or not, but it was pretty good pep talk. I expect to see the Homicide of old more often now. Alright, then we got a Pure Rules match. One of my favorite types of matches, when the right guys are in it. Christopher Daniels versus Davey Richards. This is definitely a match of the year candidate. arguably the best match in the show. Daniels is just after a rabid crowd reaction, and then we get fuck DNA chants, which turn into ROH chants. I mean, I say fuck DNA, but focus more on ROH. Don't mention them. They don't deserve it. Nah, yeah, Davey comes out the even louder chants. Each man will. The rules basically each man gets 3 rope breaks. If you use up all 3 rope breaks, if you get the ropes, it doesn't count as a rope break. And your opponent can use the ropes all he wants. He can use it for moves or whatever. Alright, if you hit a guy in the face with a close fist, warning. You do it again, DQ. Alright, so Daniels took advantage of that rule when the referee got in close. He popped Richards over his shoulder. He deliberately put Davey in a submission hold in the corner, which got him in the ropes. It was a triangle choke, and they counted as a rope break. Davey had a second rope break used up really early, and then when the ropes were in play, these guys were doing some crazy submissions on the ropes. This is one of the best submission wrestling matches I've seen in years. This is Suzuki Minoru level. We're going to ignore that phone because I'm not editing this. Alright, yeah, Richards was in a lot of trouble in this. Daniels was in a lot of trouble in this. We had cross arm breakers. We had Koji clutches in the ropes. We had ankle locks in the ropes. We had a top rope Texas Glove. But one thing that screwed this match up is Davey did this shooting star press and misjudged, and he got fucking just gutted on the top turnbuckle, so that was pretty messed up. He recovered, and the match ended soon after. It could have went longer, could have been better. This match is awesome. Alright, then we get to my match of the night. It's not a surprise that this would be my match of the night. I actually went in with really high expectations, hoping that if I have high expectations, I won't overrate it. But, you know, it met my expectations. It didn't exceed them, because my expectations were like greatest match. Well, not greatest match, but like mine were like top of the year. So this is for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Roderick Strong, the champion, versus Eddie Edwards, obviously the challenger. Yeah, Eddie was over big time, and as the match went on, he got more and more and more over, which shows that Eddie's not the same wrestler. He used to be so... He had to be in a tag team before because he wasn't complete enough to be a singles wrestler. Now he's better than his tag team partner, who was the one that everyone was paying attention to. I mean, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but this was very satisfying in so many ways. Great stuff. The tease table spots were really good. Just great stuff. Everything was great about this. I mean, I love the finish too. A lot of people don't like it. I love it. And I can't wait to see these two go at it again. Best Roderick Strong match I've seen in a hell of a long time. I give this show an overall about 9.25 out of 10. These are two shows that I would say any indie wrestling fan needs to check out. Any American wrestling fan needs to check out. That counts as WWE, Impact, or TNA fans, even Lucha fans. But yeah, pro wrestling fans might not like it as much, but you know, I think most will. It's just some won't. I can understand why you don't like certain things. I mean, I don't like certain things. I like documentaries as opposed to Ashton Kutcher movies. That's how I see things. I don't know. Some people think Dude, Where's My Car is better than Citizen Kane. That's their thing. People have different viewpoints. Some people like Die Hard, some people like fucking Die Hard in the Ass, the gay porn version. I mean, I've never seen any of that. Alright, I'm getting off topic. Ring of Honor, to have another show, and I think review June 27th. I would check the, if you don't mind spoilers, I would check the results for Saturday's show, Supercard of Honor. I think it's going to be very important, and somebody may return. Like, I won't say who. Only speculation. Big, big name. Alright, you guys have a good time. This video is like 30 minutes and enjoy it. Later.